Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to Knowledge TV. Today with a new topic that is the 18th century English literature. Before this video you can watch my previous videos on Elizabeth Age, Puritan Age and medieval English as well as on the Chaucer Age. Today's topic will be about 18th century English literature. 18th century English literature is uh, can be have different names. That is the age of Pope, the age of Augustin, and the classical age. The age is also called the age of reason. Before this video, if you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for new videos. Let's take a start date. Why this age is called the classical age and what are the different important figures in this age. So the age is also called the classical age, Augustan age, the Pope age, and the age of reason. So we have different types of literary figures, and especially the age is most famous for the prose. Before this age, the Puritan age or the Elizabeth age was famous for poetry, but this age become famous for what? For famous for prose. So the important personality and the literary figure in this age was Dr. Johnson and Alexander Pope, a well-known personality of English literature. So before this, I will mention that why this age is called classical age. So it has three reasons. Therefore, it is called the classical age. The first number, why this age is called the classical age? The first number is because they followed the Greek, the literary Greek and Latin's literary works like Homer and Virgil. They copied their writers. Second, they have sublimity in their works. They write in such a manner that haven't any be called the same as another work. They have very termed highest rank applied for the classical age because the classical write in such a very highest manner that they haven't any contemporary in this age. And no one can compare this age with another one because the works in this age was very important and very sublimity in natures. Number second, this age is called the classical age because they followed the Homer and Virgil type of poetry. They do not copy the natures. They do not have any romantic sense of humor, just like Elizabethan age. In Elizabeth age, they have that's the fantastic and sublime style of poetry. They do not follow that one. They have their own reasons. Third reason that why this age is called because they followed the classical strand of poetry. They have their own rules and regulation. They do not want that poetry should be the spontaneous overflow or it should be have any rhyming scheme, etc. Now the poetry should have their structures. They have their own rules and regulations, just like the Greek and Latins. In this age, the two French writer, Boileau and Rapin, was followed by these writers. The poetry especially of Alexander Pope and Jonathan Swift's. They follow these poets and Homer and Eliot also followed. Because the heroic couplet of this age is very famous, they followed it from the Greek and Latins. The age is also called the Augustan age. Just like in Augustan age, the Romans were famous for their literature and Dante is famous for the Latin. So in this age, the Alexander Popes, Jonathan Swift's, and so many other Dr. Johnson, they wrote their works so with sublimity that the age is called Augustan age. And because they copied these writers. They followed how they copied. They do not copy just like that, wrote their works, but actually what they followed for their poetry is what rules and regulation they followed for the poetry. Similarly, Alexander Poe, Jonathan Swift, and so many other writers of this age just write like this. Why this age is called the age of reason? This is the question arises that how this age is called the age of reason. So the age of reason, the people become now understandable and they have got many knowledge, they study the things and they have now the powers that how to deal with things. They are not just like the Puritan peoples or the Puritan in that time the people followed the Pope in churches etc. Now the people mind changes and they just believe on the reason. Their own thoughts and their own mind should follow the things and they have their own reasons which have the capability to solve things, especially the poetry in this age write in such a manners the Jonathan Swift's Gulliver Travels or the Alexander Pope poetry famous for the some things. The age called reason. uh, Another things which you should keep it in mind about this age is the age is known for the prose writing because and no other ages like the Chaucer age or the Alexander. Next, the age is also called the age of prose because many pamphlet journals were written in this age. Apart from this, the terror style of Jonathan Swift, novels of Henry Fielding in this age, Joseph Edison's essays are very famous in this age. They are wrote with such a sublimity and brilliant light that become very famous all over the world. Not in England, but all over the world. English literature now get the momentum to cover all over the world. The international language, English become the international language because these writing are so right in such a manner that cover the every part of the society. Especially the satirical poetry of this age become very famous, especially of Jonathan Swift and Alexander Pope. We will study their work, The Gulliver Travels, and which is written by Jonathan Swift, and Alexander Pope work, The Rape of the Locks. So the triviality, the things are mentioned in these poems, and they're not poems, but they're just, especially the mock epic, they copy the epical work of Homer and Iliad. Alexander Pope copy because this age is called the classical age because, and this the reason, this the main reason that they copy their work. The Rape of the Lock is a mock epic. It's not a original epic because in the original there is gods and heroes etc. But in when you read it, the Rape of the Lock, it has hero and heroines are just and they are army etc. They are just small things. So they copy the Homer Iliad or the Virgil Aeneas. And Jonathan Swift, Gulliver Travels, they satirize on different department of that time of and the states, like political systems, or doctor, or especially the judges, etc. They are much criticized in their works. Inshallah, we will make video on that, the Jonathan Swift work, Gulliver Travels, or in the Rap of the Locks. So if we describes and explain these things in a single video, it will take hours. So next video we will meet on the Rap of the Lock or in the Gulliver Travels. Uh, Another thing that was development of novel in this age. Henry Fielding and Richardson and Daniel Defoe. They are the famous writer of this age. They gave a beauty of novels to the English literature in this age. We will separately, inshallah, make videos on the Henry Fielding novels or Daniel Defoe novels or Richard's Pamela. That I will explain that how now it become will conform that is called the classical age or the age of hope or the age of reason on the basis of this. But you should keep it in mind two things about this age. This age is famous for prose work because many prose work are written in this age. The drama is deficient in this age. There were no drama written. If written, they are not just like high class of Elizabethan age. Okay, and The third thing is satirical poetry in this age. The works which were written in poetry are the prose works, just like the Gulliver Travels. They are the Tale of the Tubs and so many other works of General Steps. They criticize the states, the political systems, okay, and the rape of the luck. They just criticize the society, peoples that called on very small things, okay. So these things are famous. And classical age is called, why this age is called classical age? Because they copy Homer, Iliad, the classical, the Greek classic, okay, and the Latin classics. Second, Augustin, and why this age is called Augustin age? Because in the Augustin periods, the Roman become literary very prominent all over the world. Similarly, the during this age, England also enhanced in prose works, especially in English literatures. Many novels become written in this age. So the English literature become very famous in this age. And the age of reason, why? Because the people know the things that the things should be solved with their own reason, not just like follow the things. And another thing, the classical, that the poetry of this age, they have some rules and regulation, not like Elizabethan period or the Romantic periods. They have no rules. They just write the things, no rhyme scheme, etc., etc. But the heroic couplet of this age, the classical, new classical, also called this age, new classical, they are much what we call, they haven't any comparison with these works. Okay, uh, the age of Pope also this called because the Alexander Pope is the prominent figure in this age. We will discuss separately the Alexander or Augustine's and why this is called Augustine age or Alexander. Separately, inshallah, next video will be that why this age is called the age of Pope. So thank you. I hope you understand the classical age. So kindly सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें एंड बिल के कान बजाएं ताकि आपको इस तरह वीडियो वक्त पे मिल जाए और शेयर करें, लाइक ज़रूर देना.